Okay, friends, he said to all the many people. Hey, it's people, said the people. We exist. We are not just figments of your imagination. And I said, there's no way you could possibly prove that. I mean, come on. Cogito ergo sum only works for a person to prove their own existence to themselves. They cannot possibly prove any external existence. Through cogito ergo sum, it cannot be done. You cannot. I mean, this is philosophy, and there are rules. Just kidding. There are not rules to philosophy. Anyway, I am playing Minecraft. That's why I'm in this mine, and I'm crafting. I think I died recently, as evidenced by how wicked low my level is. Like, what am I doing with my life? Okay. I think it's daytime, so we should go see what's happening. I I literally have no idea because it's been a minute since I played this, and I actually have another world on a different computer that I sometimes play, and so that's what oh. That's nice and red. That's an improvement. Thank you, me in the past. Uh, sure, unless someone else has been playing the server and didn't enjoy my heavy-handed metaphor for the Trump administration. Nope, still there. Anyway, you're a horse. Uh, got my sweet little garden. Got my pumpyons over there. And as you can see, I finished putting uh, stone brick stairs all the way up my pyramid. And this part is deceptive because it looks like it's stairs. Well, no, this is actually slabs on the very top. Everything else is stairs. I had to do slabs in order to make any sense at the top. Any sense whatsoever. Anyway, so that's the thing I did. Congratulations to me. It's almost like I'm two different people playing this game. Maybe I have schizophrenia. Prove to me that I don't. Just kidding. You can't prove to me that you exist. For two reasons. Let's be honest. There are two reasons why I won't accept your existence. Number one is that I understand philosophy and more specifically ontology and epistemology to a certain extent. Anyway, that's number one. And number two is that I can't imagine that anyone would have the kind of time and boredom it would take to be watching this. I mean, my God. Have a little self-respect, please. I mean, look, I'm recording this and I'm not watching this. Hey, me, in the future, if you're watching this, get a life. Anyway, so existence is unproven as of yet. Who put the Ballum? Ballum, you can't. Who put you? That's ridiculous. Get out of there, Ballum. Anyway, I'll purr you, Fletcher. Like I've got those kind of emeralds. Just kidding. I actually do. Wait, 32 sticks for an emerald? Are you serious about that? I might be able. Yeah, I could. Well, I've got arrows, though. I mean, I suppose if I keep trading with you, then eventually you're gonna get cool arrows, and I'll be like, dang, check out his cool arrows. But, not right now. Is not important to me. Anyway. So. Oh, there's a cow on the roof. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, jeez. Cheese Melise. Wait, what? Some of this seems new. Anyway. Congratulations. Actually, I do know. Yeah, I think the sidewall is new. I think that there was a day when Der Steinmuller was on the server alone. I had started it with the intent of playing it, and then just did not have the ability. Bunk bed, cute. Oh my god. Oh, two people can sleep in here. What? Oh my, that's right. I thought it was getting dark faster. Anyway, regardless. Oh my god. Oh, I guess I have my travel bed. I could have done that. But also, I wanted to see what was going on with Sam Miller's. Is that so wrong? Ah, I couldn't get all the way over. Yeah, anyway. Regardless, my magical boots saved me from a fate similar to death. What? Why is there a torch over here? Somebody working over here? Somebody putting torches? Finding their way out of places? Was someone in a ravine? Oh, what? I don't know what these are doing. What are these torches doing? Someone marking the spot for awesomeness? I don't know. Sounds like something I would do. Wait, there's nothing. Oh, okay. Alright, that makes sense. Yes, someone did in fact mark the spot. I just couldn't see anything else around that would make it make any sense that anyone would care that what was really not all that here was here. Do I have signs? Ooh, I do. Okay. It's a nice time to leave a sign. Little message to let people know that I was here. Oh, I've got caps lock on. Hey, nice mind, dork. Tee. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let people know how you feel. Anyway, yeah, so I had a fun time today, not teaching some students what I was supposed to be teaching them, but instead teaching them something useful. Oh, goodness. No, that seems ridiculous. What? Anyway, I'm just surprised. This all looks so very unfamiliar. I'm sure I've seen it all before. Anyway, so what? They knock and stuff? You heard that, right? That you're the novice Fletcher. Was that the sound of you fletching? I've watched. Are you serious? Anyway, I need to look at the thing when he does that, because it sounds like he's knocking on the door, but honestly, he is a Fletcher and could be fletching, putting the feathers and the, is it called a knock? N-O-K, knock? Can't remember if that's the, end of the arrow that touches the string, or if that's the either a knot or a metal ring or something clamped around the string at a certain point, indicating that this is where you put your arrow. Anyway. Oh, wow. Hey now, you got an upstairs. This is new. Your upstairs is open concept, especially in the roof-it-hole area. You know what I would do is I would make a way for you to have a waterfall in the inside of your house. Just extend it a little bit. Actually, it'd be cool if it were running down multiple floors. Hey, what's this set of stairs up here? Someone building a platform or something. Anyway, cool. I like to see people making progress and doing things. Oh, that's right. There's llamas. Oh, and some... Oh, that's right. I need to go down and I need to get some of that so that I can make more baby cows in the Luna homestead. Anyway, that's the thing that needs to happen. Do I have slots? Because I've been just collecting crap and not putting it down. Anyway, so talked to a group of students today about the dangers of conspiratorial thinking. Because, you know, we just got done having a conspiracy theorist for a president, which is a sentence that, number one, I never thought I would have needed to string together. That just sounds like, what? You have to be an adult to be elected president. Therefore, you shouldn't have a conspiracy theorist like, someone with the intellect of a child running your country. Anyway, so stupid as it seems, our former president told Alex Jones of Make the Frickin' Frogs Gay fame. Okay, last time I played Minecraft, and I don't mean like last time since I started playing this world. I mean last time that I was, actively and continually engaged in the mining of craft. There were no llamas when I... Okay, I don't know. Is it gonna... Like, it's just making a noise. Can I... Wait a minute. Can I chave you? What? Okay. Llamas make wool. You can get it in real life. I understand this is a game. I guess I'm not going to be friends with the friendly llamas. Anyway, regardless. I need to go feed... Oh, was I trying seed like a dingus? Like, they might like wheat. I can't imagine. I have no idea what they like. Haven't played with llamas, and you can't shear them like in real life, so why would they eat what they eat in real life? Peruvians. Llamas have been known to eat Peruvians. Oh, he's eating. Oh, I've got to save that. I can't just be throwing that away. So I've got to save that for cows and the ridiculosity of cows. Boo-doo-doo-doo. It looks like the way that someone made their way down the mountain, because it doesn't look like you can get back up that way. So does someone go up the front side and come down that way? Was it possibly me? I did get stuck on one of those mountains for a while, so it could have been me. Anyway. Let's go see the cows. And here we go. So, talking to students about conspiratorial thinking and the dangers thereof. Former president told Alex Jones that his presidency would make Alex Jones proud. This is a true thing. It actually happened. You can look it up. Anyway, this belief in a deep state in order to maintain conspiratorial thinking when you hold the highest office in the land. Okay, why would you not extend your house to encapsulate this waterfall? I mean, anyway, I guess you do what you want. You have a cool built-in shower. Just be like, oh my god, check out my natural shower. It's like a rich people house. Anyway. Yeah, if this were a house in real life, we could not be able to afford it. I mean, look at this kitchen. It's like 27 sinks. Just kidding, those are cabinets. Oh no. Oh, okay. I haven't used a button in Minecraft in I don't know how long, and I thought I pushed in her button and would not be able to get it out because it did not let me click on it again. Anyway, so this must be, if you're, used to watching people who are good at Minecraft play Minecraft, this must look like, a drunken child playing Minecraft. First of all, why are you giving alcohol to children to the point where it's a thing that you know what it looks like when they play Minecraft? Like, I am shocked at you. Shocked and appalled. I'm going to put some dirt in this chest. Just because I need a place to put things I don't really care about. I don't have a very good storage for carrots. And these bones, you can have them. And I don't like red grainstone. And I'm going to give you one ladder and this yellow flower. Yeah. Ooh, and I'm going to put a sign. Cheat. Yeah. The riches of the ages are in this chest. So maybe if you're bad at Minecraft or very gullible, you'll open that chest and be like, oh my god, the riches of ages? I'm honored to meet you, Mr. Riches of Ages. Because if they actually believe that, they would be dumb enough to believe that the riches of ages are a person. And not a pile of doubloons taken from Pirates of the Caribbean, not the Pirates of what are they called? The ones in Tripoli, the Barbados. No, the Barbary Coast. That's the word that I was trying to think of. Yes, the Pirates of the Barbary Coast. So, your Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's how you say that word if you have an ounce of shame or decency. Pirates of the Caribbean. Are you yelling and hitting things in here again? I swear to God. What a dingus. Anyway. Yeah. So, Pirates of the Caribbean. Because if you say Caribbean, you have to say it like this. Hey, it's the Pirates of the Caribbean. Probably broke the microphone. This is very loud. Anyway. If you're not willing to say it in that accent, you have to say Caribbean. Like a civilized person, don't you know? Anyway, so yes. The Pirates of the Barbados, while they did plunder the spice trade, they also very effectively engaged in mass amounts of kidnapping. And at a certain point, about 1/5 of the United States, like 1/5 of the GDP of the United States was going toward the payment of pirate ransoms. Because the pirates of the Barbary Coast were like, "We'll take your man. We'll take your man." You know that Salt and Pepper song? "We'll take your man." No. Well, that's probably because if you are a person who could have heard this, then you're number one, definitely one of my students. And number two, like, goodness, I forget what I was doing. Forget what I was even doing. I was talking about pirates, about how if you're one of my students, something, I don't know. But yeah, how could you be watching this if you're not one of my students? Why would you be watching this if you were one of my students? What is, yeah. I don't understand how you spend your time. Anyway, let's talk a little more about conspiratorial thinking and the dangers thereof, because I've not said everything that I need to say on this topic. The conspiratorial mind sees patterns where there are none. You know, we as a species, we are not only very adept at making and, well, at finding patterns, identifying patterns, and following patterns. We're not only quite skilled in that, we're also skilled at the interpretation of patterns. And so our brains are able to look at, you know, your naturally occurring patterns, your man-made patterns, and we're able to see them and understand them for what they are. Did I make a carrot box? I don't know if I did. Anyway, why do I have multiple shears? I don't know. Yeah, so many questions for myself that go unanswered. So, ooh, I've got 2 saddles. Oh, that's right, because I faced off against the giant dingus, which that's how I died. It killed me like 37 times because I started a pillager raid in the village, and yeah, I definitely did not capture the footage of this because, you know, you would have had the pleasure of watching me die 37 times in a row. As I finished off the giant dog thing that the pillagers have. I finished that off barehanded because I was out of swords, I was out of sticks, kept killing me closer and closer to where I was spawning, and so I couldn't get past it to get the gear that I had dropped. This is very fascinating to listen to while I'm you know, standing here staring at an open chest. Anyway, so yeah, by the time it finally, that I finally killed it, there you go. By the time I finally killed it, I had nothing but my bare hands, and I just punched it on the nose, you know, like you do, giant demon dog, and I just punched its nose and was like, bibbidi 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 bibbidi, you know, like that one punching bag that you see Rocky use, but you've never actually seen one of those being used by anyone in real life ever. Okay, I don't know what I did with my carrots. Holy Moses, it is time to cash this in. I mean, block it up. Anyway. So, one of the problems with conspiratorial thinking, oh my God, he's back on this, is that there are actual conspiracies which exist in the world. Our government has, over the years, overthrown the democratically elected governments of many nations. Uh, like a lot, like a surprising number. Like, think of a country which has a border lying to the south of the United States. Okay, yeah, we overthrew the government of that country. Yeah, yep. No, I don't know which one you thought of. I just know that, like, we overthrew every government in South America over a period of 50 years or so. Anyway, we just really, really cared about fighting communism and setting up trade that was okay. You don't want to go? Setting up trade that was favorable to us. Anyway, so yeah, overthrowing governments. And now those people show up on our southern border, coming through Mexico, but not from Mexico. They're coming, these are the horrifying caravans that we've been told are coming to, rape our women and marry our horses. Anyway, the people that are coming to the border who are asking for asylum are doing so with an understanding that the United States not only has traditionally abided by the concept of asylum, we have given refuge to many an asylum seeker over the years. So they come here knowing that it's a possibility. And, like, they do come here. I don't know how many of them come here thinking, well, you guys owe us. Certainly we do. But yeah, I don't know how many come here with that kind of a mindset. Like, no, I know what you did, and I am owed at least a modicum of self-respect for, having endured what I endured. Anyway, regardless, so those people, try to come to the United States to be granted asylum, a thing that we not only joined an international agreement saying that we will abide by this, and that this is a practice that we will engage in. We wrote the agreement that we entered into, that other nations entered into with us, because we would hope that should our people ever seek asylum, that they be granted it as needed. Should it ever come to that? Who knows? The last 4 years have been insane, and who would have ever thought that a sitting president of the United States would openly call for insurrection, would call for his people who... it's so strange. He never tried to be the president of the entire country. He only tried to be the president of people who identified as followers of him and of his beliefs and his practices and his everything about him, the singular him. And yeah, it's so very strange, that they would try to overthrow our government when the people who are streaming here from the South, whose children we have separated from them intentionally as a deterrent. This has been stated openly. Stephen Miller is a horrible goon, and the idea that anyone would listen to his policy is upsetting, to say the least. Anyway, So yeah, these people come to our borders. They're seeking refuge. They're seeking safety because it's politically unstable in the place where they live. And why is it politically unstable? That's due largely to us. So, do we owe them? Uh, you know, I don't know that that's a question that is worth thinking about twice. It's very simple. If we did this to them, one of the things that America prides itself on, just standing here the whole time. Uh, One of the things America prides itself on is the fact that we make reparations with our enemies. Well, yes, our enemies. Our citizens, they can ask for reparations, but what you gonna do? Anyway, uh, but, seeing the horrors that we unleashed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we decided that it was best to help Japan regain its former glory, And so we made that possible. We provided the military cover and support that they needed, and in lieu of needing a military, they were able to build up one of the world's largest and most stable national economies. So really quite an accomplishment. And that was done because we paid them back. We realized that what we had done was a terrible thing. And so it was a terrible thing, and people have and will have argued and will argue. Well, it was necessary. It was necessary to save the lives of potentially millions. I don't know. I've heard both arguments, and I'm torn. On the one hand, I hate to believe that so much death was necessary, but on the other hand, the very concept of war is an idea of necessary death in order to bring about an end. That's the entire point. So I don't know. I'm just glad I never had to push that button, and never will, frankly. Yeah. So, yes, we overthrew the governments of many South and Central American nations, and now those nations are wildly unstable, and we owe the people something. We don't, it's not like we can just say, well, sorry. So we couldn't have foreseen what would happen if we overthrew your government or paid, gave money and weapons to a rival who claimed that he would be loyal to the United States if given a chance to rise to power, and then we gave all the money and weapons he needed in order to overthrow the government, So directly funding and contributing to the death that overthrew the government, that led to the political instability that exists unto this day. So they come to our southern border. Do we owe them anything? Anyway. Of course, I'm one of those cockeyed optimists who refuses to believe that when Mexico sends us their people there, they are sending us better than rapists and murderers, gang members and terrorists. Anyway, so yeah, our government conspired to do those things. They did. It's an action that we, the people, likely would not have supported had we known that it was happening. In some cases, we did know that it was happening. But yeah, is it one that we, the people, would have supported from the government that represents us? In many cases, I think not. Why are we overthrowing other people's governments? And it's not a question of what are we to gain from it, but is that the sort of country we want to be? Anyway, I need some water. My throat is very dry. I think I have an ability to pause this thing. Let's see. Let's find out together. Can I pause? Okay, so if you heard a secret special bonus confession from me, something that I would never admit to in public. Anyway, that means that the pause button didn't work. But if you hear no such thing, then the pause button did work. And neither of us will ever know because, as we've discussed, I'm not going to watch this later, and you don't exist. Anyway, so, what we ended up discussing about conspiratorial thinking is that, because number one, conspiracies actually do exist, and number two, the internet has allowed people who believe in things, no matter how patently absurd or ridiculous, you're going to be able to find people who believe not only a similar thing, but the exact same thing. And so, it becomes a self-sustaining cycle that, you have a tendency to believe these things because it's something that you've found reason to believe for some reason or other along the way. You believe you found that reason. And the more you encounter people who agree with you, the more you sustain that belief, and the more you sustain that belief, the more you encounter people who believe like you, regardless of whether or not there are many of them. There are belief systems that I guarantee that you believe are absurd. Scientology, everybody. That's where this always goes. It goes to Scientology, which is a belief system that we all believe is absurd. Regardless of whether or not we actually have read the literature, regardless of whether or not we have ever actually spoken to a Scientologist about their belief system, regardless of whether or not we have really done the homework on what the belief system even is. We find it absurd without any reason whatsoever, So it is possible to carry a prejudice against things which we believe to be absurd. And so, it's very easy to cast aspersions on people who believe very, very absurdly stupid things. Certainly I do my part in making fun of such people. But anyway, though they believe these things, it is a problem that they did not create and a problem that we have not solved. So, you know, don't be too harsh in looking at people with belief systems that are unsupportable by logic and reason. Everybody on the face of the earth, somewhere in their beliefs, has something which is unsupportable by logic and reason. That's just the way it goes. You pick up so very many different things from so very many different places, and you believe different things for different reasons. And some beliefs you may never question and not realize that you're not questioning them because it's never occurred to you to question them. And so you perpetuate them, not knowing that they are, in fact, when standing in the cold light of reason, that they are, in fact, unsupportable and perhaps even false. And so it becomes a problem of knowing your cognitive biases. The confirmation bias, which I find to be the most common that I encounter, certainly. What it does is it's your brain protecting itself from information that would cause it to be forced to write new neural pathways. Brains don't like writing new neural pathways because it's a lot of work for a brain. And they don't enjoy that process. Cognitive dissonance is tied to the feeling, is a feeling that you get when your brain is saying, ugh, no, I don't want to have to do this. So yeah, you get these things when, something that you believe which is not true is made to confront its own flaws and foibles, or you are made to confront its flaws and foibles when you are unprepared or unwilling to do so. Anyway, yeah, you feel that cognitive dissonance, and your brain says, hey, let's go ahead and forget that anyone ever showed us this evidence that makes us feel icky inside. That cognitive dissonance that you feel when your belief systems are being challenged. Yeah. It can be a real, actual physiological response, a big, icky, yucky feeling that you get inside you to a surprising degree. It's one thing that some religious groups will actually use to indicate that, well, God wouldn't make you feel that way. So when you think about doubting your belief systems, that must be Satan. And that's why you feel icky, because Satan makes you feel icky when you doubt your belief systems. Anyway, but as we discussed last time, an ultimate evil in the universe makes a lot more sense than an ultimate good, given the amount of terrible things which happen on a seemingly perpetual basis. Anyway, these guys. What? Did he just disappear? Okay, let's go. I know this isn't on peaceful mode because, yeah. Anyway. So we were talking, also, here's a fun thing, is that one of my honors students and I spent at least a portion of today looking at Satanist t-shirts and stuff. You gotta get that Satan merch. Oh, that's right. I don't really have boots. Well, I have boots, but they're gold. They're probably dead. Oh, no. Cannoneer's Bulwark. Bulwark. I always say that wrong. It's not bulwark, it's bulwark. Anyway, yes. So, you and everybody else capable of rational thought in the universe, even those who are absolutely incapable, especially those who are absolutely incapable. Okay, good. That seemed like it was breaking hard and I was worried. Anyway, yes, all of yous have something in your belief system which is demonstrably wrong and incorrect. I think the real value comes when we see your mettle. Your mettle is tested when you have to adapt in your belief systems. You'd adapt by either completely ignoring and saying, no, 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 la, 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 my belief systems are fine, thank you very much. Or you actually do the work of, possibly changing your belief systems, possibly leaving your belief systems entirely and forging entire new ones, joining the enemy if it comes to that, the former enemy that you realize, oh no, they may have had something all along. You know what? That makes it sound like I'm really into the Satanism. Like, oh, the enemy. Ooh, yes. Fraternize with them. You know what I mean? Fraternize. You know what they do in frats? A lot of gay stuff. Let's be honest. Fraternities. Ugh. It's, gayer than Queer Eye. Anyway. Fraternities are gayer than Queer Eye. It's true. Like, there's so much. Like, go to college. First of all, if you're a student of mine and listening to this, go to college. What are you doing? Anyway, but yeah, fraternities. There's a lot of like weird homoerotic, like, we're gonna hit you with a paddle, and like, what? Uh, we're gonna look at you naked and stuff. Like, it's always something like that, and you're like, what? Okay, like, that's just own up to the fact that that's weirdly gay. You people who are supposed to be the guyest of guy dude bros. Hey, guy dude bro. Are you the guyest of guy dude bros? Bro. By the way, I was saying guyest of guy dude bros, meaning the one who is most like a guy. I know that if I were saying it in an accent, that it would sound exactly like a, oh, he is the guyest of all the guys. He is so very gay. See, if I say it in an accent, then you're like, is he saying gay or guy? Oh, I'm saying guy. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Are you saying gay or guy? No, it's guy. Yeah. I like that guy. He dresses smartly. Wears an ascot. If you know what I mean. His loafers don't weigh very much. I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Oh, where am I? Like, it just keeps being stuff. I forgot where I was. I don't strip mine. Look. Come on. I'm an American. I don't strip mine. I pit mine. I mine it clean. Do. I am thinking of a Proclaimer song. It's the Doodle Song. This is literally what it's called. Okay. Let's do this. Like Buddhists. And how would Buddhists do it? Well, depends, honestly. What are they? Chinese Buddhist? Korean Buddhist? Are they, okay, my least favorite, the white guy who becomes Buddhist? Ugh. Like, it's funny. I lived in a Buddhist country for a number of years. Learned the language, tried to adapt into the culture as much as I possibly could. They always found me very hilarious because, like so many people around the world are, sort of co-opting American culture and trying to reproduce it in some way. And yet here I was, an American, trying to replicate their culture and trying to be more like them. Anyway, they really loved it. I can't remember the point of this story. Something that was unique and specific to Cambodians. Not about pit mining, I know that. If I had the interest, I would rewind this and be like, oh, what was I talking about? But, oh, well. Oh, doing it like Buddhists. Yeah, you leave it alone. That's one of the many things that I learned that was really interesting in my Psych 101 class. Which, by the way, there is no more annoying person on earth than someone who has just taken Psych 101 and thinks that they really, really understand the human brain. That person is just a complete chore to be around at parties. Anyway, and I know because I was that person at one point. Anyway. Okay, I lost it again. I know I was talking about Cambodians. Buddhists. That's right. Doing it like Buddhists. Yeah, they found me fun because I was trying to be like them. True story. First time I ever got coined, they couldn't believe that a white guy would do that. See, it's a cure for the common cold, although not really. I mean, if your mom ever gave you Vicks Vapo Rub, she definitely assumed that it was doing something, but that's mainly due to our assumption that because menthol creates like a sort of stinging sensation on the flesh, that it is doing something, but it's not actually. It just feels that way. Menthol. And it smells really good, so there's that too. Anyway, so what coining is it's the ridiculously insane version of that. So what they do is they will paint, they'll get some, like tiger balm, essentially. Seeing's pure oil is the good stuff. people do use Tiger Balm, but it's more expensive. I like the Seeing's Pure Oil. Anyway, Seeing's Pure Oil. The way that they, because the funny thing is that when they spelled the name, and it's a Chinese company, when they spelled the name in Cambodian, they were trying to replicate the English sound of Seeing's Pure Oil. So they're trying to use Cambodian letters and vowels to replicate the sound of Seeing's Pure Oil. And the way that it's written out, it says Seeing's Pure Oil. Like, wow. My God, you sound like you're making fun of an Asian person. You sound like you're some sort of a redneck who's like, hey there, ching chongy boy, and you're making fun of him for being Asian, like a jerk. By the way, this is not cool, but the most ridiculous thing is that students at my school feel basically justified at being racist against Jews and Asians. Because guess how many Jewish kids we have in our school? 0. As far as I know. I mean, I could be surprised, but I don't believe that I know of any Jewish kids at our school. I'd be thrilled if there were one, but I don't think there are. This is because I haven't spent enough time around Jewish people. I always wish I had. It seemed fascinating. Anyway, yeah, and Asian people, which, like, yes, we actually had a few Asian students, and they were the best and brightest that our school has ever produced. Like, the smartest kids. Ooh, diamonds. Like, I don't want to make my other students feel bad, but, like, if you ask me who set all the records for highest scores on my pre and post tests, is members of that family. Anyway, that is certainly no mistake. Anyway, but yeah, so don't feel bad. Like, they were, valedictorians and salutatorians and whatnot. Yeah. I was not valedictorian, nor was I salutatorian of my high school. But the valedictorian chose me to march with. I don't know why. I seemed like a constant disappointment to her. Like, at the time, I was, all of my friends were very conservative. We all read all of Ayn Rand's books. Like, I've read everything that Ayn Rand has ever written. And when we were reading them at the time, I mean, we had traditions and stuff. You get to a certain page where, Leonard Peikoff is selling you on the Rand Institute or, objectivity. Anyway, and yeah, when you get to that page in Atlas Shrugged, which is the big book, the Fountainhead's pretty big, but Atlas Shrugged is the big one. When you get to the Leonard Peikoff selling you on objectivity page, that's called the party page, and you throw a party for all of your other, neocon friends. The age of neoconservatism. Anyway, so this is what we were doing, and so yeah, I at the time, because it was, just felt expected, I became a fan of one Rush Limbaugh, who died recently, and don't feel bad at all about that. Like, there was a time where I might have been like, oh no, not Rush Limbaugh, but now it's like, man talked a lot of crap. A lot of crap. Not saying you deserve to die for that, but like, how am I supposed to feel? Man talked a lot of crap. Anyway. But yeah, so at the time, I, my God, I was so in it. I think this will be a surprise, knowing, Oh, is that a kitty? Oh, it is a kitty. Anyway, a lot of people assume that I'm extremely liberal because I'm, like, not a uber conservative, and they don't know people who are not uber conservative because it's a small town in Arizona. And I was listening this week, and somebody was saying that the Arizona Republican Party was insane, like actually crazy. So like our reputation outside of our state is that we are crazy people. Anyway, perhaps I should not have indicated the state that I am in. Kitty, come up and see me if you're gonna come and see me. You gonna come and see me? She's being coy. Anyway, no, Koi was our lizard. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, are you gonna jump up? Oh, she is. She's coming up. Oh, there it is. All right. This is happening. All right, I think I have to pause again. We'll find out if the pause button works real quick. Okay. Well, so I was talking about being coined in Cambodia. So they take a mentholated balm. This would be very weird if there was a pause, and probably even if there was not. They take a mentholated balm. They rub it in a stripe on your skin, on your chest, beginning on your chest, and then they will take a coin or other hard metal object, a coin or a large spoon, or in some cases the cap of the balm can, and they will scrape your skin, scrape it really, really hard until until they're breaking blood vessels, and it forms a bright red stripe on your chest, and that's one. That's one. They will do them all the way down your chest, and so you'll have like, 12, 14 down your chest. And then they'll do like 2 on your sides, which are excruciatingly painful. But what's happening is they are working the menthol into your bloodstream. They're working it directly under the skin. And then they do your back, and you get like 12 to 14 stripes down your back. Sometimes people will do it up their neck, which is very painful. You'll do it on your arms, down to the elbow. I had that done. Anyway, you just get your skin super really hard agitated all the way down. And yeah, and then in the end it feels amazing. It feels amazing for two reasons. Number one, someone used to be scratching the crap out of your skin with a really hard metal object, and now they're not doing that anymore. So that feels awesome to have them not do that anymore. Anyway, and then number two, you get this massive menthol rush. Like, you know how good it feels to have Vicks Vapor Rub rubbed on you? It's like that, except, you know, the biggest Vicks Vapor Rub rush you've ever gotten in your entire life. Like, it just feels like, you know, childhood and mommy taking care of you, and like everything's gonna be okay because mom knows what she's doing, and you're safe and warm, and you don't have to go to school tomorrow. Like, it's all these feelings, like, just all up and down your skin as you're like, oh man, this is awesome. Now, does it do anything for the cold? No. When you're having the crap rubbed out of your skin, it makes you forget the cold because it is of less consequence than the fact that someone is seriously agitating your skin. And yeah, so that is a number one. So you don't remember the cold. And number two, like, it gives you the feeling that you've actually done something for your cold. Oh, I guess I can sleep now. You've actually done something. Whereas in most cases, what do? Take vitamin C? Oh, that really doesn't have much of an effect. Like emergency, you could spend a ton on that stuff and it doesn't actually have any medicinal effect whatsoever. You know, the airborne, all of those, like, there's so many things that you can get that really, products that are not regulated like medicine because they're not medicine. Like Vicks Vapor Rub seems like it's medicine. It's not medicine. I mean, you shouldn't eat it, but like, it's not potentially damaging, and it's not medicine, therefore it doesn't really need to be regulated that much. Anyway, so yeah, same with a lot of cures for the common cold. There's not a lot that you can do for the common cold, but having the crap scraped out of your skin will take your mind off it for a little bit. I guess, if that's how you choose to spend your time. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, I forget what I was talking about, how all my friends were super neocons. But yeah, you know, me being in a small town, in a very red state. Well, I mean, technically it got bluer this last election, but that depends on whether or not you think it's going to stay blue. You know, anyway, neither here nor there. But yeah, used to be very, very hardcore conservative, and now not so much. Well, what contributes to this change? This is actually pretty simple. I got outside my country and I realized a number of things about the world. You know, it's very easy to keep a small world, small town concept when you never get outside your small little world and you never get outside your small little town. Getting out of the small towns that I lived for the first 20 years of my life, and just living in a different country gave a perspective that I hadn't seen before. I saw real poverty, and I saw real government corruption and economic collapse, and I saw what people's lives were like, and I realized that I realized that the Ayn Rand position, where in Atlas Shrugged, here I'll tell you a portion of the story so you don't have to read it. There's this man who has, there are these great industrialist inventor types, because that's who's the hero in Ayn Rand books. These independent thinkers, movers, shakers, really smart people who know how to work things to their advantage. And these are the people that she idolizes in her works. Anyway, so this man has a brother come to him. Maybe don't stand by a million cows when you're telling a story. Has her brother come to him, and I'm just wandering around and having fun. So if it bothers you, if you think I should have some goal in mind other than talking right now, I'm sorry that you're wrong. Anyway, oh God. So yeah, getting outside the small town mindset and the individualistic society. America is the most individualistic society on earth. Everybody is worried about my rights, my freedoms, my feelings, my thoughts, you know, uh, and that we feel like that's what's most important, whatever affects me. Like, oh, somebody might need health care, but my taxes, that is a very American way of thinking. And you get outside of America and you meet people who legitimately live for the good of the community. Disapparated. But yeah, you meet people who are trying to make their little world a better place without much thought as to what it's costing them. So, a very different, a very different mindset. And you realize that there are different ways of looking at things, and there are different ways of thinking about things. I think one of the most the two real eye-opening experiences for my young, budding intellect. And, it's sad that they both came as late as they did. But they did. Anyway, the first is the realization that those on the other side don't want to see the death of our nation. They don't want us to fail. They don't want everything to fall apart. While our guy is in office and their guy is not, they're not openly hoping that everything goes badly, and that's when their guy is not in office. When their guy is in office, they aren't like trying to destroy America with bad policy. Now, you may believe that they have bad policy, but they believe very firmly in the things that they are doing. And so, coming to that realization, because, you grow up, you're the youngest person in that group of friends, and they all start listening to Rush and reading Ayn Rand, and you're like, okay, I'll listen to Rush and read Ayn Rand, because that's what needs to happen. And you just sort of follow along and get swept up and say, like, yeah, that this seems to be how things go and how things are and how things operate and how things ought to be. uh and then you get outside of America and you realize, like, wow, things can be very different. They are very different in many places in the world. And America does not have the sole ownership of goodness, the sole ownership of national pride, the sole ownership of, many of the good qualities that we associate with America. You know, not everything about America is good, but not everything about it is bad either. You know, there's a lot that our nation can offer the world, but also there's a lot we could learn from the world. And it's very funny because we have this tendency, so we're so individualistic. We're like, no, no, if it's not American made, American grown, our ideas driving the bus of, whatever, like in education, this is very much the case. We would all be much better if we implemented a Finnish style education system. Students would learn more. We would have more hands-on learning that would lead to, retention of knowledge at a much higher level. Would lead to, students acquiring the types of knowledge that they want to acquire, knowing what they want to go into when they grow up. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot to be said for it. But, we're Americans and we're like, ew, this idea comes from somebody else. It's not us. It's not ours. We don't own it. We didn't invent it. Therefore, how can we trust it? And I think that's a wildly flawed way of looking at things, but it's a very American way of looking at things. And because we are so individualistic and we believe, like, our thoughts, our ideas, our words, our freedoms, our rights, you know, it makes it so that we, when we divide politically, those divides are very predictable. They're on very cleanly drawn, pre-cut lines. Anyway, so the idea, a lot of the ideas that you get from Ayn Randian neoconservatism, the ideas that, like, when, the great inventor, his brother comes to him for a job and he says, no, you didn't earn it, therefore you don't get it. Because only people that earn it should get it. And so, it's supposed to be this great lesson that, like, oh, if you're not a person who earns your own way in life, then you should just go die in the streets. I mean, he basically tells his brother to go die in the streets. And, yeah, and then you go and live in a country where people are dying in the streets, and you're like, oh, maybe this is not the way. Like, maybe we don't just say, hey, die in the streets if you can't provide for yourself. Because for some people, they end up on the wrong side of a system which is not designed to benefit them. And, then some very predictable things happen. And, they wish that they could have things be differently, but they are not. and they need help in a way that can only be offered if you are not holding to that, well, you didn't earn it, and therefore you don't get it. Our society has baked into it an idea that, like, we very much care for those who are unable to care for themselves, in the sense that, if someone is severely handicapped, we don't kill them or leave them for dead, saying, well, it's survival of the fittest, and this person is obviously not fit for our species. We don't do that. There are a lot of animal species that do that. If one of them is maimed, lame, underdeveloped, etc., like, they will leave it saying, we don't need you for survival. And, you know, humans could do that. We could look at the weakest of us in terms of physical abilities and physical strength. And we could say, like, oh, all of these people who fall outside what we're going to call a realm of normal, we're going to leave you behind as a part of our species. We don't do that. We don't do it. We make wheelchairs. We make accessibility laws. We make changes to social expectations so that we can make room for those people. People that we could otherwise say do not represent the best that our species has to offer, and they're therefore of no consequence. I mean, we could say that because there are animal species that do approach it from that point of view, but we don't. We do not. And therefore, because we do have baked into our society an idea that, like, it can be of benefit to care for those who are not as able as us. Maybe not in terms of able-bodied, but in terms of able to provide or do whatever it is that they need to do. Yeah, so if we put these here, if we really believe in that kind of a principle, then, there are ways for us to practice it. But oftentimes when you're talking about, conservatism, a lot of it is very much taking the stance that, like, you got to work hard to have everything you get, and if you don't work hard, then you don't get anything. And that's not the entire idea of conservatism. I can't boil it down to that essential characteristic, but it does seem to be an essential characteristic of recent American conservatism. The idea that if you didn't earn it, then you don't deserve it. You can't get welfare unless you pass a drug test, and you can't vote unless you have a voter ID, and all of these things that you don't need voting rights if you are a convicted criminal, things like that, like earning it, very much a part of American conservatism. But what was such an eye-opening experience for me was that there are so many people who really, really lack the capability of earning it. And you see ways in which a system can be tipped against certain segments of the population in a way that prevent them from making the type of advancement that would, make them invulnerable to ideas like that, to ideas that like you have to earn it, and if you don't earn it, like, yeah, if the system is tilted against them being able to have the means to, in your eyes, earn it, then that's problematic. Inherently problematic. Anyway, so seeing the way in which systems can be unfairly balanced, you can look at the American system and see that it is pretty well unfairly balanced in a number of ways against certain types of people. Primarily, I know that the inclination is to say, well, in terms of race, which, yeah, I can see how that case could be easily made. But I think more in terms of class. Because, yes, a surprisingly large segment of our minority populations are impoverished. And we have to ask ourselves, like, well, is it that they're all genetically lazy? Can't possibly be. Or is it that we have created a system which is working as intended by shutting them out of opportunity? Something to certainly think about. More and more slimes. So I found that over time that conservatism was not for me because of how it dealt with some of those things, and certainly the way that it deals with, the rights of homosexuals, and deals with just so many things, so very many things. It really bothered me over time that I could not, in good conscience, remain affiliated. So I had to leave it behind, and I really left it behind at a key time, because since then it has been taken over and is being driven by its most radical element, and it's not to say that there aren't radicals on the other side. Certainly there are, but they are not driving the bus. They are not determining the policy. They are not building the platform. They are existing in their little niche pockets, but they are not driving the bus the way that they are in American conservatism. Anyway, and it's a thing that's going on worldwide. There's a growth in, populist nationalism, or what I think it was Chomsky who called it faux populism, fake populism. I believe I heard him call it that. Anyway, regardless, could not stick with it. Not in good conscience. So I left it. And, I'm honestly very proud of my ability to leave things when I can no longer morally support them. I've done that multiple times. I did that with the religion that I was raised in. Could no longer morally support the decision to remain in it because of numerous flaws, major flaws that certainly made life much more difficult for some of the more vulnerable members of the community, and really drew some harsh dividing lines and made it very clear that, you know, people of my way of thinking were not welcome. And that it was, if we were to be welcome, then we have to keep silent. And that's not right. That's not right. So I left it. And, frankly, life has been better as a result. But, yeah. Being able to be wrong about these sorts of things is a beautiful, beautiful gift. And it doesn't seem like it at the time. When you realize things that you have believed to your very core are actually false, you are really, really shaken. There's often a feeling of very deep betrayal, which is typically accompanied by feelings of intense anger. Perfectly understandable feelings of intense anger. You just had the rug ripped out from under you, Anyway, but being able to pick up the pieces and say, you know what, I was wrong, and I'm going to live my life by trying to be right. I'm going to try to live by what I believe is right, regardless of whether or not I am abandoned by community, abandoned by family, abandoned by friends. Certainly was abandoned by some friends. That much is very true. Family have been very good to me, but friends, not all of them survived that. Anyway, I suppose that's when you find out who your real friends really are. If your friends can't handle you no longer being a member of their belief system, well, then maybe they weren't your friends at all. That's, somewhat true. Should be dubious of any belief system that insists so firmly that, like, everyone must accept it. What I think is happening there is that anything that meets that description, like, oh, you have to believe exactly what we believe, that's usually a cover for how utterly ridiculous the belief system is. Because if you are surrounded by people who, when they hear about what your belief system is, they say, oh my God, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That is not a plan for long-term survival of a belief system. And so if you tell people, like, no, only surround yourself with people who understand and accept the belief system, because by doing so, you're only going to be surrounded by people who would be terrified to criticize the belief system. Yeah. So, this is true of so many emeralds. True of religious beliefs, true of political beliefs, true of social beliefs. If you're racist, it's true of your racial beliefs. Probably. Anyway. But yeah, people definitely have something in their belief system that is wrong. Everybody does. And, if you can address it, if you can actually change based on what is right and what is wrong, that is a level of self-actualization that is, frankly, I think necessary for a, valuable, productive life. Anyway, but that's just me. That's what I think. Yep. Anyway, people, question the answers. Always be asking the hard questions. And always be able to identify within any group that you may belong to, political, religious, otherwise, you know, be able to identify the things you are not allowed to criticize. Oh, what is it that within this world, what are the things I'm not allowed to criticize? Oh, well, why am I not allowed to criticize those things? Those are the places where the belief system has built up ridiculous things in order to protect itself from being doubted. So, wherever in a belief system there is oh, we are not allowed to criticize that, wherever that exists, that is where you know the ridiculousness that is unsupportable exists. It's a good place to start if you are looking for things that you believe which are demonstrably untrue. Anyway, go do some work on yourself. Find out what's really worth believing in your life. Anyway, that's something that, if anyone ever watches this, will actually be of partial value. How did I begin in such a stupid way and end in such a... Oh, that was Q and not W. And in such a reasonably, tolerably, semi-poignant way? Anyway. Well, nerds, hopefully you've enjoyed this. And even if you haven't, what are you going to do about it? Anyway. And that is where we stop. Goodbye, America. Just kidding. People all over the world watch this. All over the world. Take 2. Okay, here we go. This time for real, though. For real, though. Hey. Hey, world. Planet Earth, where I live. Some tiny little pale blue dot. Far reaches of a backwater galaxy. Who gives a crap about you, Earth? Except those of us who have the pleasure of living here. The universe doesn't care about you. It doesn't even know that you exist. But I live on Earth. I think it's pretty great. And that's why to you, Earth, and everyone living upon it, I say thank you for giving me 7 billion views. What the frick? Like, seriously, that... What am I? Gangnam Style? Anyway, no, I'm not. I promise you I'm not. This will not turn into K-pop at the very end. I think it's turning into a man talking very, very slowly and lowly into a microphone as he just continues to play the pause screen of Minecraft, the most boring Minecraft playthrough channel ever. Congratulations, I did it. Winning. I was told by a very odd, very orange man that I would win so hard that I would get tired of winning. Well, my God, I'm tired of winning. Okay, I'm going to push stop now. And now. Just kidding, I'm still recording. And